Right, let's start with the dollar index as usual. So far, we've only had downside for the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What I want to see is the weekly gap not being closed in. So this is the weekly gap. And I want to see this week rejected. Okay, so if you go into the weekly, this is how it looks like. I want to see this week rejected. So today being Friday, we might get a rejection to come above this level. We want to see price close above this level for this week. Okay, and if possible, the daily also not closing below that. Okay, if we get that, that would be very, very good for price action going into next week, because again, we are still inside that impulse leg. So this is still a pullback, and I'm expecting that to reject. So maybe a run below previous day low, yesterday's low, and then a rejection. That would be something to look out for. With the euro, I was expecting again price to go up here and then reject. It did, and I got something during the London session, but I was expecting them to break the New York session's low, but you can see price couldn't do that, and we've come back up again. So again, let's see how price is gonna behave above the previous day high. If you go onto the weekly, this is how it looks like. Okay, so I want to see them not close above this high, or even potentially price rejecting this last up candle. Okay, so there's a lot of waiting and patience that needs to be cultivated now, and I'm patiently waiting. I am not touching it until I get what I need to see. Same thing with the British pound. I think they've manipulated this one quite a lot. If anybody was trading this, they'll be frustrated. Okay, because Monday went up, Tuesday broke down, pullback, went down, Wednesday went down into the fair value gap on the daily, which I did get a piece of it, and then we see price coming back up again. And even with that, this morning we've had like a whipsaw. Now that to me is showing something, which is the second week of the month. We need price to give a clear indication where it wants to go, and this is the first week, this is the second week. We are trading inside that fair value gap on the weekly, hence lower prices is possible, but it's just playing around. We open and then we've gone up, hence we want to see a rejection on the daily, at least a down close below an up candle. That is what we are looking for. Okay, a down close below an up candle. That's what we are looking for, and until we get that, price is gonna keep misbehaving, and I don't want to be part of it. So right now I'm on the sidelines on the British pound as well. Euro pound, I think I gave you a level that is reaching for 0.88754. Again, this morning woke up, price was up here. When I woke up, price was up here, so I couldn't do anything with it, and then with the drop, I didn't even see it. It happened so fast, I didn't see it. So I'm on the sidelines, but it has given a nice setup for potentially next week. We have this down candle here, so next week that can be used as a support level to continue going up. So next week we're gonna be looking for longs on that. Gold, I think gold is trying to come back into this fair value gap here. Now, is it going to come all the way down here? It depends on how we trade inside this fair value gap. Yeah, it depends on how we trade inside this fair value gap. So because that's the last time I think a buy happened, and I actually got something off here as a buy to go up here. So we are coming back to that same level, and it's taking out the equal low, which is previous day's low. I want to see what price is gonna do here. I think there are some interesting levels in there. One was this one was this, and one was that one. Okay, which is just right below the previous day's low. So I'm thinking maybe they will reject below that low, and that will cause the weekly chart to, or the weekly candle to give us that huge wick. Now, I don't think the wick will go all the way down. I think today will reject and come back up again. Maybe back to this candle's low. Okay, so during this New York session, watch price, because I have a strong feeling they're gonna reject this low, right, and then pull back. Now, if it does pull back, looking at how the daily is posed, okay, looking at how the daily is posed, this gap is gonna be very influential, as in what we do in here is gonna determine what's gonna happen going forward. The fact that we've gone through this up candle here means a lot. It says a lot. We did break through few PD arrays before going up, so let's see how price is gonna behave inside this fair value gap, inside this New York session. Okay, crude oil, I'm not a big fan. I think yesterday I made mention I'm not a big fan of it, because it's not giving me what I need to see, either coming up here or going up there. But up here is more technically sound than down here based on the weekly chart. And since I can't pinpoint exactly based on what I know, can't pinpoint exactly what it wants to do, I want to stay on the sidelines. If you want to, you can use this up candle and then look for sales, but I personally will be on the sidelines for now, because I need to get a clear indication what price wants to do before I engage. And since I don't have that, I sit, I stay put, and then I wait. Yes, very, very surprised that we've come all the way down here, because I was expecting them to at least use this fair value gap and then send price up again. I did not expect them to come all the way down to where we are. It's quite surprising looking at the time of the year, but I still think higher prices is the way forward, nothing lower. If it's gonna come lower, maybe they will come back and take out this low and then reject again. Or I was looking at the monthly time frame, and this low, which if we do that, then we are going through this down candle, and based on the nature of institutional order flow, that will be shifting the order flow from higher to down, and I don't think that is the case. Okay, it can happen. Everything is possible with price, but if we are to do that, then there's a big shift. That will be a big shift. Okay, so again, this New York section is gonna say a lot about what price is gonna do, including dollar index. All right, so unfortunately, this week has not been the best. So stay put, and then we go again next week. I even brought up another pair because the dollar Swiss did not give any rejection whatsoever in here, which again I find it a little bit surprising, because from the seasonal tendencies, this was supposed to be a clear uptrend. And funny enough, I've come to realize something, right? And I'm gonna share this. I've come to realize something, that anytime, okay, my attention is brought on a certain pair and I talk about it, it does completely the opposite of what I'm talking about. But if I find a pair and I talk about it, it does the same thing, right? I don't know why, but that's been my experience of anytime anyone gives me a pair and then I start paying attention to it, like I'm paying attention to this, it does completely the opposite of what I'm expecting. But when I come up with a pair, which I have, like this one, because I've done analysis on it, I'm seeing this as a potential buy, go up here. But the same scenario, impulse leg, breaking the high, pull back, going up, same area, going to the H4, same area, but price does not respect it, which I find it strange and odd. Okay, so because this one did not do what I was expecting, I brought up that one that can be used to compensate for that. So that would be the drawn liquidity. Every year it does something like that, because this time of the year CAD is usually weak. So if you look at last year, that is similar, roughly the same time of the year. Okay, that's 19th, 15th. So this is probably, let's say, next week. Pull back and then we go right back up again. Okay, that's something similar here. So I'll be expecting that. Now if you go back to the Swiss, we go back to last year, 2020, there. Okay, so you should be going up November, October, September, October, November, and then December you go up. That is the natural, or the normal way during this time of the year price does. So here was not different. That is why I'm a bit surprised that it's doing that. It could be accumulating more longs. Okay, so let's see below this low what it will do, and next week we will look at it again. Dollar yen is also coming back into pullback. Again, looking at how the weekly is shaped, well, it has completely, we've not closed yet, but we've completely rejected that previous week and rejecting this gap. So again, let's see how this week will end. let's see how New York session is going to trade, and then we'll take it from there, because I need to get how the weekly profile is going to be roughly next week, and that will come based on how this week is going to close. Okay, then obviously Bitcoin absolutely worked, doing exactly what we said it should be doing, so I'm not going to waste too much time on that. We are roughly where I mentioned we'll be coming. That's the OT area, 618 to 70.5. So stick with that. I think yesterday I spoke about this also being a sell, and all the others as well. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, sorry guys, I had to pick this phone call. I got my car to go for a service, and I was just getting a report for that. So yeah, Ethereum, I think we spoke about that too. We're gonna head lower. Solana, same thing. I think Solana 95.25. That is why I said they will be taking price too. XRP, I tried to stay away from that. And then hype, that previous week low. And I think yesterday I gave more clarity on that this is the highest probability. This one and Bitcoin was the highest probability selling. Okay. And then obviously Chachki is not doing anything, but that low is the ideal level price is gonna reach for. Now AI 16, I think I managed to get one, but it's on a different screen, so I have to find a way to show that screen going into next week, not this week. Next week I'll find a way to show that one, because it's not coming for some reason, and the rest, they are not giving anything. All right, so I have to find a way to get the update for that, because none of that is having any whatsoever update. So I did manage to get one on a different website, so I will update maybe tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Monday. I'll find a way to do that. Okay, so Bitcoin, stay with the downside until we get the reversal. On the weekly chart, we are coming somewhere here. Okay, so the 90,000 to 89,000 area, and then once we get there, patient, we wait for price to show us it's gonna go back up again. Right? Yeah, so let's go back and look at the dollar index as usual, and then we'll close for the day. Okay, so we did not take out the low, but during this New York session, that is what I want to see. So keep an eye on that. Let's see if we can take out that previous day's low and then start screaming up again. Gold looks like it's not budging, but yet still is within that daily fair value gap. So again, patient with it. Don't look for buys yet. Let it show you. I think on the 5-minute chart you can start looking, because we are in New York session, right? Price has been dropping since landing. Today being Friday, you might get a rejection. Okay, all right, so that's it for now. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you soon.